Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network. Know that it's Couch Pilots. Welcome, all my friends, to the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, aka the Black Baptismal, and across from me is the Holy One, Captain Philip Restisher. Even in
well, thank you very much. I love being holy,
and amen to you,
and also with you.
That's what I meant to say. That's what I was looking for. You did it.
Always holding the show up.
Yeah, but yeah, you're like a tent pole, and not from your pants.
Hey-o. Man, I'm wore out. We just got done celebrating National Pilots Day. We had a party, a little cookout and stuff for National Pilots Day.
Yeah, it's important to remember our roots, where we came from, why we do what we do, and to celebrate those who paved the way for us.
Sure, exactly. Being a pilot is not just something that anyone can be. It takes rigorous training. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've talked many times about the schooling that we've went through. And,
Phoenix Online. Yep.
And so it's a day to, have a couple cheeseburgers on the grill, get half naked in the pool.
Yep.
It was a family event.
It was a family affair. Kid friendly.
Kid friendly.
Because honestly, we are paying homage to the generation before us.
Right.
But at the same time, the next generation is seeing how we behave and who we're honoring and how we do it. And maybe one day they'll step up to the plate.
Having those kids there, they see how cool we are as pilots.
Yeah.
And they're like, look at all these chicks they get. Look at all, look how they just walk into a room and everybody notices and everybody pays attention. And they want to do that. They want to emulate that. I mean, myself, I was in the pool with a lady that wasn't my wife.
That's right.
And she was standing fairly close to me.
Yeah, she wasn't off put by you at all.
No, which was so surprising. So yeah, we celebrated, and so I'm kind of wore out. I got a lot of sun, got a lot of vitamin D, got a sinus infection. But you know what?
Is it from the pool?
The sinus infection?
Yeah.
No, it's from all the pollen in the air.
What's the pollen level today?
I don't know. I got to quit rolling the window down when we're flying. Yeah. I think that's what it is.
And it's bad for cabin pressure too.
I mean, I guess that's important, right? I don't know.
I guess. You know what? It's a great weekend to pay homage, and also for me, I did something a little special this weekend.
What did you
do? Year after year, I go to Goodwill stores. I go to Salvation Army, and I spend nickels. I spend pennies on my wardrobe. Okay,
nice.
But recently, I said, you know what? This isn't working. Whatever I'm doing, it's not working. So I get out the credit card.
Whoa!
I head to the store, and I drop 2 bones. And I don't
$2?
No, buddy. No, up it.
You $20?
No, one more zero.
$200 you spent on clothes?
$200.
So you got a pair of jeans and a shirt.
I got a pair of jeans, and I got 5 button-up short-sleeve shirts, so I can look fly all summer long.
As a white guy.
As fly as a white guy can.
Sorry about the coughing.
No, that's fine.
It's going to happen.
Coughing will happen. You can't control that.
So, do you think that buying the new clothes and stuff? Do you think that'll help maybe with the ladies?
I'm hoping so. I've definitely got more swagger in my step, and I noticed that when I was in the pool, as a result of some of my new clothing, the women were not as close to me as they were you, but still not as far away as they usually are.
You know what? Everybody has to take steps. You got to take steps. And to me, if they were in this general vicinity of you, that's great.
That's one in the win column for this pilot.
To me, I also think that part of it is because it's Pilot's Day. And when it's Pilot's Day, they know where the meat and potatoes are of this
That's
world.
my time to strike. I have one day a year when they say, you know what, I have to respect you.
Have sex with a pilot.
And I have to have sex with you by law.
Right.
And it's the bylaw, right?
Sure. Hey, and if you're into bylaws, who's it for me to judge?
That's fine. I didn't grow up that way. But I'm open-minded to bylaws. And yeah, you know what?
Sometimes I think we're funny.
Oh, it's not today.
Not one listener laughed at that, but I thought it was hilarious.
But yeah, I'm walking around these streets. I've got a swagger. I've got a little pep in my step. feeling good, looking good, and now I just worry about a credit card bill.
Well, what's the worst they can do?
Take my clothes off me and away.
No, they can't do that.
I've never been in trouble with a credit card before. What is the worst they can do?
They just turn you into a collections company, but they don't do anything.
So I can do whatever I want then.
Seriously, that's what I did for the first 30 years of my life. I did whatever I wanted to.
And you and I are pretty much in the same place in life. And you had all these great clothes, right?
Oh, I had all the top clothes. Did I ever tell you? Here's a story real quick.
I love that you had all the top clothes.
I never had any of the bottoms.
No bottom clothes.
Never had any bottoms, but I had plenty of tops. But, I always like to talk about my past. And the
fans love it.
This relates. So when I was in high school, probably junior year, I was dating this girl.
Another girl. Here we go. More women.
Batshit crazy. I mean, she was crazy.
Did you say junior high?
No, I was a junior in high school.
Okay.
She was batshit crazy, right? She had humongous headlights. I mean, humongous.
And we're not talking about a Buick.
We're talking about a Volkswagen. If you've ever seen those, hey, yeah. And so we weren't really dating, but we were having sex.
Yeah. In high school.
On the regs.
Yeah, you had everything figured out already as a junior in high school.
Right. Because I was a year ahead of I was a year older than everybody. So
you trick them.
Right. So we were dating, and then one time she went out, and we went to the store at Bergner's. We went to Bergner's.
Great store.
And she bought me like a bunch of clothes, like hundreds of dollars worth of clothes. And it wasn't my birthday. It was just, we were having Californication.
What? Well, I've never heard it put that way. What were you wearing at the time that designated all new wardrobe?
I don't know. I guess like Metallica T-shirts.
Yeah.
And that's about it. So we went and we bought all these clothes, and it was like Guess denim shorts. They were Guess.
Yeah, love Guess.
Back then, Guess was.
Isn't that what Brooke Shields used to wear?
Yeah, I think so.
Heck yeah.
And so I was at my grandpa's house one day, and I was talking to my brother about this. It was like this chick bought me all this clothes, this new, and my grandpa was out in the barn with it. And he's like, some girl bought you a whole bunch of clothes for no reason. And I said, well, yeah, pretty much. He goes,
here comes a bunch of wisdom.
He goes, were you having sex with her? And I said, yeah. And he's like, works for me. And just walked away. He was like, he was probably a proud grandfather at the time.
You have all these stories about talking sex with your family. I am in a situation where that would never happen. I can never talk about sex with my family, let alone my grandfather.
My grandfather was cool. He had a whole nightstand full of condoms.
Yeah.
And you'd go in there and talk to him and have those little those talks and everything, and just deep talks and conversations. And at the end of it, no matter what you talked about, whether it was politics, whether it was your buddy at school you want to fight, he would always offer you a condom before you left the room.
So would it ever be like ill context, like if you're talking about your friends and then he hands you a condom?
You know what? I think the best thing for you to do is to fuck your buddy in the ass. Here's a condom.
That was Grandpa's answer to everything, just have sex with it?
Just have sex with it.
She bought you a bunch of clothes? Yeah. You having sex with her? Yeah. Here's a bunch of condoms.
He always said, whatever you're good at, do it all the time. That was one of his sayings.
You really took that to heart and fucked your way through life, huh?
Yeah. Look where it got me.
You got a pool. You got a bomber jacket, right? You got an Air Force One.
Aviator glasses.
Hell yeah.
And I got you as a friend.
Yes.
If I wouldn't have fucked all those girls, we would have never been friends.
You know what? I only respect people that are in triple digits sexually, so high five that shit. Oh, boy. What a great segue to fan feedback.
Fan feedback, one of my favorite parts of the show.
Love fan feedback.
We got a voicemail. It's been a little cold on the dial line. I mean, we like to have 2 or 3 an episode, but we got to be realistic.
It heats up, it cools down. The ebb and flow of telephonification.
But it's summertime, and that's what's going to happen.
And the living's easy, right?
Sublime really wasn't that good.
You know, it's a cover. That
oh really?
That hook is a cover of an old jazz song.
They really weren't that good. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do here.
I never know what these are.
Hello, my name is Pinko and Sheen. I have been a huge fan of the show for some time now. Black Mangolia's faces are nothing short of amazing, and the way our Captain No Captain works the middle gets me excited in ways I am unsure of as I am new to these feelings. Please do not stop working in the way you do Bob Dignity. It gives me reason to live. As for the other shows on the network, They just do not do it for me the way as yours does. It is simply the best. Just like that song. Anyway, keep up the good work. It's been a while.
That's the only part of the show that I could understand is of that voicemail is that it's been a while. That's all I could understand. But hey,
I think his name you have information on that?
I think his name was Rico or something. It was obviously a horny robot, is what it was.
There's a robot, right? I've never heard a message like that in my entire life.
It was good. It seemed robotic.
I thought it was maybe like a Stephen Hawking situation.
It could have been Stephen Hawking's for sure.
Oh my!
You think he listens to the show?
Stephen Hawking?
Yeah.
You know, you talk about ebb and flow, the hot and cold of the call line. I think the same thing is with a super genius. Like here he is, he's mapping out black holes, supermassive black holes, you know, the God particle. But at the same time, the other end of that's Couch Pilots, the lowbrow silliness that is this show. I think Stephen Hawking's got to have it both ways, or else he can't always be on the genius end.
I don't know. I think sometimes when you're born a genius, you're just a genius for no matter what.
All right. Well, this is a robot, and thank you, robot, for calling the show.
Robot. All right. So you want to do some?
Well, the robot said he had a reason. Gives him a reason to live. I feel that suggests the robot has feelings or thoughts concerning life and death, which is bizarre. You would think that robots are programmed to do a service or some sort of chore or job, but this robot is contemplating life,
right,
which is very interesting to me.
I love the way robots do that, and I apologize. Here on Air Force One, there's always stuff going on. Stuff is always banging.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
We're going through stuff, and
things are always banging. You all right over there?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm in trouble for some reason.
Is it because I brought a Taco John's medium-sized Pepsi Cola on Air Force One?
Could be.
I know it can get.
It might be. It could be. It is Jason's fault.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Thank you, Robot.
Robot.
We're going to try to give you some frequent flyer points, but you know it's also funny because we've been talking lately about, hey, if you're a dog or you're an animal, can you get frequent flyer points? If you have split personalities, can you get frequent flyer points? If you're a robot, now that begs the question, Blake, if you're a robot, can you get frequent flyer points?
In my opinion, if your robotic systems somehow downloaded the show, you called for you sent us feedback. So to me, yes.
And just so everyone knows, before we go forward with a fan feedback, frequent flyers out there, that's what we call our frequent listeners to the show, and they accrue frequent flyer points. Every time they listen or download, contact the show, they accrue points. And we keep track of that here with count them two now, pachinko machines.
Exactly. Big E helped us get the second one. He's redone it all. It's in our possession. We can do twice as much work. So if you've ever thought, oh, maybe I don't want to, I'm afraid they're too busy.
I don't want to overwork the single pachinko machine they have.
There's two. So fan feedback it up.
They work in tandem. They do twice the work in half the time. Robot, guess what? You're getting some frequent flyer points. You got some more fan feedback. This person's getting some frequent flyer points too.
Right. Dee Dee from Australia, I had contacted her and said, hey, I'm a horrible person. It took me forever to get the
you had to send her something, right?
Right. And she says, it's cool, pilots. Keep checking the mailbox. And she has... I'm wondering if she did this all herself, but it's a picture of a kangaroo with a U.S. Postage hat on, and it's got all kinds of mail in the pouch of his belly.
Holy cow.
So she's like, it's cool, we're fine. And I said, it's in the air or on a boat, however you guys get mail. Thanks for listening. We have some fun episodes coming your way. And she says, thanks for being the best podcast out there. Love the Super Pup episode. Shared the show and also played the YouTube. And you know what to do, Tube.
I like that.
Nice. So not only is she telling people about it and sharing it, which is frequent flyer points.
Absolutely.
She's watching the YouTube page, which is audio.
This is genius.
And then she makes a reference of you know what to do, Tube, which is more bonus points.
Dee Dee is Stephen Hawking level genius.
Yes.
This is when a company says, you know what, we're going to give you points for like airline miles, or we're going to give you points to like camel bucks or something, and there's a glitch in the system. There's something they didn't think about, and they're exploiting it. That's what Dee Dee is doing here. She is loving Couch Pilots in all fronts, multiplying her points.
Wait, there's more.
No way.
It could have been a great show if it was allowed to continue. other quote unquote interesting facts. In parentheses, Conrad rule enforced. Some of the actors from Super Pup were also Munchkins from The Wizard of Oz, and one in Todd Browning's Freaks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is a kind of a legendary cult film, Freaks.
Okay. And then it says, end of interesting facts. Anyway, cheerio from down under. Keep the skyways pure. Love, Dee Dee.
She's working on a completely different level. Rarely do we get interesting facts from the frequent flyers. We're going to have to come up with some sort of different tier or some other multiplier for someone bringing those to the table.
To me, it's a Gold Club member. She's instantly a Gold Club member.
I've got some fan feedback.
Oh.
Is that okay?
No, yeah, that's great.
Okay, so I go to CouchPilotsPodcast@gmail.com. Okay, so I open that up, and I see an email here. Have you seen this?
I'm not sure.
Okay, someone sent us a link to IMDb. Okay?
Okay.
And where it came from, it looks weird. I don't know who sent this, but
it's a Gorilla Mail or something like that. The email address like Gorilla Mail.
No.
Oh.
It's weird. Actually, they've sent us. It looks like a handful now. Okay, I've only seen one. This is someone. They're sending us options for pilots. Have you seen this person in our Gmail?
I saw it one time, and it was like a Gorilla Mail. It was like a secret, like a GorillaMail.com or something. It was like a secret way to block your real email address. So.
Okay, well, someone's sending us through Gorilla Mail, whatever the hell that is, and there's a couple of. I reveal yourself to me.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely. I mean, how we can't give frequent flyer points to somebody. You're working. You're making the effort.
Yeah,
finish it off. Get the reward.
This is there's one called Sirens of the Deep. I'll have to look into that. Oh, here. Oh, Rico Machine. That is Rico Machine. Is that the name of that guy, the robot?
Yes, Rico.
Okay. But yeah, there's this other person sending us. It says Sirens of the Deep. There's one called Red Pepper. Did you see them send that?
I thought it was spam.
That I opened that and I didn't click the link because you don't know what's going to happen.
Sure, because it's not classically blue.
Absolutely not. So I go to IMDb and I put in Red Pepper, and sure enough, it's like a live action show mixed with puppetry, and it's got like David Letterman in it, and it's got Phil Hartman.
Wow.
So it's got some like heavy hitters really early in their career. This is the early 80s, maybe even 81, but I can't find the entire episode. So someone out there is listening to the show. Definitely. Someone out there is saying, I know about pilots. Let me send you some. And I tell you what, as far as I'm concerned, this is 2 of the 3 requirements that we'll get into later. But if we can find these entire episodes, we'll have them on the show. And the person, if you want to reveal yourself to us, you know what? Maybe you can be on the show and you can talk about them with us.
Sure, definitely. I've got one more real quick if you want.
Please,
if you don't mind. Jeb Simpson. All right, our friend Jeff.
Okay.
All right, it says, Mr. Clayton, thank you for the podcast love last night. I am not worthy. I'd love to join you both for Ghost Rider, and Christina would love to watch. Does he? I guess like a sex thing. Like
I think so. If I had to guess what he was talking about, it would be a sex thing.
Okay. Tell Black Bean thank you for the Delavan props. Now, what scent/bath bomb says Couch Pilots? And I thought that, you know what, that's pretty, because he makes soaps and bath bombs.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, what is the flavor or the scent?
The scent of Couch Pilots.
The scent of Couch Pilots.
I'd say, you know what?
I was stumped. I don't know.
The wide open skies, a cool breeze, right?
Yep.
Maybe some engine pollution or goose shit. Some kind of mixture of all those things. Because they put cat piss in cologne, right?
Do they?
Well, you got to put a little something nasty in there to bring out the good. You put the goose shit in there with a cool breeze, you got yourself a nice bath bomb.
High five that shit. Jeff, we're waiting. We can't wait to have you on the board again.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
I came here to kick ass and watch television programming that had only one episode, and I'm almost out of television programming that had one episode.
No, you can't be almost. If you're almost out, then we won't have a show.
That's just a play on a phrase.
Oh, okay.
It's just supposed to be silly.
I was just worried.
That's what the show's about.
Yeah, it's definitely what it's about.
Today we discussed oh no. Attack of the pollen. It's microbes in the air that are you are infinitely bigger than these microbes, and they're beating you.
They're beating the hell out of me.
We discussed the pilot episode of 111 Gramercy Park from the year of our Lord 2003. Great year.
Very decent year.
Post 9/11.
It's a good year for the Roses.
Now, what does that mean?
That's when like you remember something that was really good in that year,
Yes.
like it was above average.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what? I would, if I could, I would give this year some roses.
Sure, that makes sense. I agree with you.
And usually, if you have that good of a year, the roses grow more fertile and the
Thick
bigger
and lush.
bigger blossoms.
I love big fat blossoms.
Oh, I love a big fat blossom.
You ever watch that show Blossom?
Oh yeah.
And Joey Lawrence.
Whoa.
Let's go back to 2003. I always say this about the aughts. Hey, you know what? Wasn't that long ago? Guess what? It was 14 years ago.
Sure, right. That's
It's
a long
14.
time now. It used to, when we first got into the aughts, we were like, "Wow, I can't believe it! Our computers still work."
Right.
And then you're like, "Oh man, we're in the year 2000, right?"
Right. Space. We're in the future. The future's now.
Yeah, the future's now. Like Running Man was set in 2017,
Love Running Man.
and now here we are in 2017, and we're looking back and we're like, "Oh my gosh, that was so long ago," but yet it didn't seem like so long.
That's absolutely right. So let us put our minds back there by going back in time and talking about some things that happened in 2003 so we can properly digest 111 Gramercy Park. Concerns continue to grow over possible Asian flu outbreak, also known as avian influenza.
I've worried about that even to this day.
Bird flu.
Bird flu.
You still worry about bird flu.
Always.
I mean, there's still birds everywhere, right?
Well, mostly up here where we're at.
Right.
You know, when you're in the skies and you have your window down.
Guess what? You're in their territory.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
You're in their house.
You're in their house. Exactly. You beat me to it.
So the birds are up here coughing, they're sneezing, blowing their nose,
Yeah, and
puking.
it's coming right into our ventilation system if I don't have the window down. I mean, of course we're susceptible.
We're breathing in
What they're breathing out.
That's right. That's exactly right. They had bird flu. I remember they had swine flu. You remember that? Mm-hmm. Why is it always after an animal?
Because animals are dirty.
Yeah.
They are the main carriers of diseases like the monkeys / AIDS. You know. Kind of stuff like that.
Like the Black Plague was rats.
Right. The mosquitoes are like
West Nile virus.
Yep. See, they're the carriers.
You're right. You're very right. What animal do you think is not getting its just desserts by not
having a disease named after him?
Right.
Peacocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're always strutting around, right?
Oh yeah, those when they just like this and all their feathers come out. They're just
What disease do you think should be named after them?
something that makes your hair fall out.
Alopecia.
Alopecia. You know what?
Peacockpecia.
Peacockpecia. Let's look into it, folks.
Let's trademarks.
Real facts.
A white tiger attacks Roy Horn of the duo Siegfried and Roy, leaving him partially paralyzed.
I remember that. Like, he almost had his face off, didn't he?
Yeah, just like Nicolas Cage.
And John Travolta.
Right.
To me, if you make all your money and you make your fame off of having lions do tricks on stage every night, eventually those lions or those tigers, oh my, they're going to have a bad day.
Sure.
And that's a risk that you take.
And it's not like they go home and beat their wife like you should if you have a bad day.
The gay guys?
No,
or the tigers?
The tiger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't know to do that, okay?
Right.
What they do is they claw your face off.
Right. That's all they know.
That's all they know.
Right.
They're primal.
They're not going to pull out a shank, and stab you.
At this point, I bet Roy Horn wishes he had been shanked versus mauled, because that is terrifying.
He didn't die, did he?
No, but I think they had to kill the tiger.
Yeah.
Once they had a taste for human blood, there's no going back. It was only a matter of time before Siegfried got mauled. So they said, you know what, we got to put him down.
Yeah, we'll just stop. We've made so much money. We'll put them in cages, and people can still come to Vegas and see the zoo.
Now you look at those guys, you're like, oh, those are gay guys, but they were never like, yeah, we're gay guys, right? This is kind of a hidden, like kind of a known secret kind of thing, right?
A buddy. Hey,
Yeah.
This is my buddy.
Like Kevin Spacey, right?
Right.
Or Jimmy Fallon.
Exactly. In my opinion, if you're gay, that's fine. I don't care. It's fine with me. Would they have gotten more fans from the gay community?
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Just go. It's fine.
Own it, right? Because here's the thing: people don't give a shit.
No, they don't. Not anymore.
They don't care at all. I mean, even a few years ago, they didn't care. What they care about is it being a secret. People don't want there to be a secret. They want to know. Right. And once you say, hey, we're a couple of gay guys who do magic, they'll be like, Okay.
Okay.
And then they'll go find something else to worry
Nothing
about.
I can do with that now.
They don't give a shit. Just say you're gay, guys.
Did Liberace ever admit that he was gay or no?
No, he just transformed that young man to look exactly like him so he could fuck himself. Hurricane Isabel claims 40 lives and leaves 6 million people without power.
Ooh, that's kind of a wussy hurricane.
Yeah, it's a real bitch of a storm. Why do we give hurricanes names? Because, I feel like I had a daughter around the same time as Hurricane Katrina.
Okay.
And I was really wanting to name her Katrina. I was really leaning on that name.
Beautiful
but then
name.
As soon as that hurricane hits, of course I can't do that.
Right, you got to drop it like it's hot. They even just severe storms. They give them names.
Just give it a number, right?
This is Storm Ted coming at you.
Yeah, Big Theodore rumbling on through. Watch out for Walter. How about just a number, okay?
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to name my kid a number. Why besmirch a name?
Would you not name your kid 9?
Maybe 11, after Stranger Things.
Okay. Yeah. It's just a way to for the news anchors and stuff to suck you in and make you feel as though it's a living thing.
You know what? I think you're right.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Didn't work.
Well, you have you start naming things. They say if you're a farmer, don't name those chickens. I'm going to chop their head off. I'm going to eat all their muscle when I fry it up. You put a name on something, you have an emotional attachment.
And that's what they want. That's what Fox News wants.
Smart. God,
Hey,
guess what? You put me in 2003.
Top of the weather class right here.
2003. I'm in 2003 right now. We've gone back in time digitally. I'm there. As a matter of fact, 2003 rolls around. I'm 22 years old.
22, huh?
That's right.
Let me go back.
Old enough to know better.
Still too young to care? I was 28.
Nice. Great age.
Really good age. You're not 30 yet.
Divisible by 7.
Your life's not over.
All right. Is your life over now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Been over.
Why did we choose to watch 111 Gramercy Park?
3 simple criteria. Number 1, the biggest one, is it had to be one made. Never went to series. Whether or not it was televised, it's relevant.
Doesn't matter.
Only one could have been made.
Yeah.
2, we had to find it on the internet. And 3, we had to be free. We're not paying for it. So those are the only 3 things that we need to be able to talk about an episode.
If you don't, if you don't give me those things, then you may as well hit the road because I'm not interested.
The road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more.
What'd you say?
Nice.
That's perfect.
It was great.
Where can you watch 111 Gramercy Park? Well, you can do so by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or, yes, go to YouTube, and you know what to do, too. Oh, shit.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
And as we excel toward the skies, we see DSJ on the tarmac with his golden cones directing us into that wild blue yonder.
Do you want me to roll the window up or leave it down?
I don't want that avian flu.
Okay, I'll roll it up.
But at the same time, I do want that scent so we can, when Jeff finally gets over here with his bath bomb, we can perfect it.
All right, well, let me just roll it up. I'll crack it.
I'll crack? Okay. Summary of the pilot. Wealthy New Yorkers who live in an upscale apartment building and the various maids, nannies, and maintenance people who work for them. Great summary.
That summarizes what we watched in a simplistic, non-wasteful time way.
Straight to the point.
Straightforward, straight to the point, straight out of Compton.
Straight to the point, no faking.
Cooking MC is like a pound of bacon.
I don't want fat on my summary.
No.
That's what it's not a summary
No.
if there's fat on it.
I can handle a little bit of fat. I can handle a little bit of fat on the pussy. I don't want
What's that now?
I can handle a little bit of fat on the pussy.
That's what I thought you said.
But I don't want it on my summary.
I hear that. I also hear interesting facts.
Ooh.
Hoocha! Interesting facts. Things you don't know. Things I'm going to tell you. Things you're going to take in and understand that they're true, and then you're not going to comment on it. Go ahead. Please, make the announcement.
Conrad rule in effect. Everyone, please pay attention. There's a Conrad rule in effect.
Yeah. It was called the Conrad rule for a reason. It's like, hey, my daughter, she went missing, was kidnapped. They found her dead. Her name was Amber. Now we got an Amber Alert.
Right.
Right. Same. It's almost exactly the same thing with a similar devastating effects.
Oh, devastating for life.
Conrad takes it upon himself to comment freely and openly on these facts during this section, what is strictly prohibited.
On our Facebook, sometimes he calls into the dial-in number.
He called in live one time just to rub it in our stupid noses.
Right. Yeah. Because you know what? When you got balls that hang down like that, you
Yeah.
just think you can do whatever you want. But we have to put a stop to it. We cannot give these facts and have people just willy-nilly tell us they're interesting or not.
That's absolutely
It's just
right.
the name of the fucking segment.
Right. We first rule of podcasting, name your segments. That's exactly what we did. We said, you know what?
Structure.
Absolutely. We said, what are we going to do a show about? And it's like, screw that. Name the segments first.
Right.
Interesting facts, right?
Yeah, we didn't know what we were doing.
Nope, we just knew we had to have names for that segment, that's for sure. This is the first version of Gramercy Park pilot, focusing on the families and servants in a luxury New York apartment building. ABC asked for the pilot to be reworked, and a second version with an entirely new cast was produced a year later. The newer version focuses on 3 nannies and the children they care for.
Okay.
So there are 2 pilots. There are 2 pilots for the same series that are dramatically different.
But they never went to series. That's why we can do it.
And we might do that second Gramercy Park.
I hope not.
Let's see here. Studio information: the Tannenbaum Company, from Warner Brothers Television. They made it.
Okay. All right.
Warner Brothers usually puts out a quality product.
Sister Dot.
That's right. That was in development from March 4th of 2003 to February 15th, 2005.
Wow, that's a long time to be put in development.
Almost 2 years they worked on this thing.
That's interesting.
I don't understand.
All right, listen. Baby, listen.
You know what? Maybe you listen.
Linda, listen to me. Listen to me, Linda.
What is that, from The Room?
No, it's from that YouTube video, that little Mexican kid yelling at his mom.
I never saw that, and I don't think you're not going to joke your way out of this one, rest assured.
It was...
No, you know what? People have been saying, hey, you've been missing this, you've been missing that on the past few episodes. You slip in a little qualifier or something. I got you this time, pal. I got you right where I want you. You know what I'm going to do with you? I'm going to throw you through the engine, and we're going to see what you smell like, and we're going to make a bath bomb out of that.
Well, then who's going to do everything in the middle?
I'll find a way, okay? Autopilot. Yeah, I think your job is literally just a flip of a switch, okay?
Yeah, you're just now finding out that my job is the easiest.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I know you work hard on these.
Listeners, I don't accept your apology. I don't accept it.
Well, then how do we move forward?
We don't. We're at a stalemate here.
Just going to sit here and look at each other?
Lick each other?
Look at each other.
I'd much rather lick than look at you.
That's pretty bad. Not saying much for me, is it?
The neoclassical facade of 111 Gramercy Park looks down upon the streets of Manhattan. This is an ABC press release description, by the way. But within its grand residential building, the rooms and hallways are alive with high and low drama, and no one knows more about its secrets of its upstairs residents and the nannies and the doorman downstairs. With an electrifying cast led by Frank Langella, 111 Gramercy Park delivers high drama in the tradition of Dallas and Dynasty with a distinctive new millennium twist.
Okay. All right. That was kind of like a summary. Like
it was similar.
Like with a lot of fat on it. A lot of gristly fat.
That was, yeah. What were you talking about earlier with the fat on a summary?
Oh, like on a steak. I was like, I like a lot of fat on my steak. I like to chew the fat.
Gotcha. Interesting facts over.
Whew. That was close.
Got a little Twitter response section. I think you have a little intro for that.
Twitter responses. Jason got some Twitter responses.
Bill D'Elia. Kind of interesting. We're at the celebration we had earlier today, the pilot celebration, and Let's Try This Zone. Kevin Clark came and he said, "Hey, he's talking something about Chris D'Elia. You remember that guy?" Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Hey, he's a comic." He starts saying, "It's like, hey, you know what? The pilot we watched that we're talking about tonight on the show, 111 Gramercy Park, the director, Bill D'Elia, it's Chris D'Elia's dad."
Wow.
I said, "Hey,
small world."
It is." And I said, "Hey, this is what we are. This is what we do. Anything you want to add?" And he says, "Hey, did you actually watch it?" And I said, "Absolutely. We watch every pilot we discuss. You've directed and produced some pretty iconic pieces of television. How does 111 Gramercy Park rank?" Nothing.
Oh,
I'm doing something wrong. And then I sent him something today before we started. I said, "Hey, looking forward to recording the 111 Gramercy Park episode tonight. Any fun or interesting tidbits to discuss would be greatly appreciated.
And nothing.
Nothing. What am I doing here, Captain Rest Assured? That is so off-putting to these directors, writers, producers,
Are you
creators,
doing it
actors.
right on Twitter?
I'm doing it right on Twitter. I'm responding directly to what he says.
You're doing a little arrow to the left.
Yeah, everything I own to the left.
Then I don't know what the problem is.
But I read to you what I said. Is
Right.
something off-putting there?
No, I think it's just these guys are sipping their morning coffee, and they're like, oh, I got a Twitter. And then they don't look at it again for 3 or 4 days or a week.
I don't know. Whatever. Bill D'Elia,
We tried, Bill.
thanks for favoriting a tweet. I don't know. Drunken Lullabies.
Hi, this is the voice from Drunken Lullabies. Do you like craft beer, indie music, pop culture, pro wrestling, and pure juvenile hijinks? Then you will love Drunken Lullabies on the FCF network. We have new episodes every Sunday, so you can spend the Sabbath getting drunk with us. So join me and my co-host Beer Mansky and our rotating cast of characters as we drink amazing beer, listen to bands we think you need to know, and laugh our asses off. Like Elvis said, 10,000 drunkomaniacs can't be wrong. Check us out on all podcast platforms and at fcfnetwork.com. May your music be loud and your beers be cold.
Great show.
Love it. Hardest working man in podcasting.
To be honest with you, he works very hard at it.
Oh, yeah, he does. It's aged him greatly.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. No, if you look into his eyes,
No, I'm not going
there's
down.
a lot of crow's feet now. And I know it's because he's got a beautiful young girlfriend who lives with him.
When you have a girlfriend that attractive, you are working double time to keep her happy. And he's working double time on he's got 2 jobs and he's got the podcast. I don't know how this man finds time to sleep.
He's traveling everywhere to do this podcast, like live remote.
Hi, this is the voice from Drunken Lullabies.
Hey, Dustin.
Why don't we get that taken care of?
When? In a year?
No, I'll get it taken
A
care
year
of.
from this date. Write it down.
Okay.
1 year from this date would be 2018. What is today? June 12th.
June 12th. I got it.
All right. Let's break down the show.
Break it down for me, fellas.
Opens up. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Making my way downtown.
I was asking this before. Is this Michelle Branch? Is this Vanessa Carlton?
When
And they're
you
practically the same person.
When you say those 2 words, those 2 names, I have no idea what you're talking about. To me, you could be talking about fish.
What?
Types of fish. I don't have
I would
any
love
clue.
some fish. Do you have any fish here?
No. We're in the air. They don't fly. Flying fish do.
Oh, I love flying fish. The kind from the Super Mario Brothers.
Yep.
You got like shots of the city overhead, bird's eye view, scanning, panning shots.
They probably
of
took
the city.
that video they probably took on a plane.
I wouldn't doubt it. Beautiful shots of New York City. An optimistic girl, beautiful young girl, probably in her early to mid 20s, wandering down the street, and she's I missed the bus, or I'm trying to get a taxi.
I miss a bus.
Is that crisscross?
Yes, it will. It is crisscross. I'm going to go ahead and say it right off the bat. I find myself to be an open book.
Yeah, I agree.
I had a tremendous amount of time following this show. So
A difficult amount?
difficult, yes.
Okay.
I said tremendous amount of time.
You
didn't
did.
I? But that doesn't quantify.
Doesn't
whether
make
it's
sense.
Yeah.
So she's walking around, and she's trying to catch a cab. She finally gets one. She gets dropped off. But actually, I think before that, Steve Urkel is loading some dogs into a limo.
Was that the real Steve Urkel?
Yeah. It was Jaleel White.
Right. Which is ironic because
He's a black guy.
he's a black guy.
He should be called Jaleel Black.
Yeah, he's in charge of these 3 dogs and getting them to the groomers. Now, I've never been a hootie toot guy in New
Never,
York.
as far as I've known.
But I've seen a lot of TV shows, and like these doormen are like asked to like, hey, don't see what happens, or hey, you do me this favor on the
look
side.
the other way on this, and
they
keep
get,
my secrets.
They get repaid handsomely and rewardingly.
They should. So Urkel loads some dogs into a limo. We're seeing the doormen, different tenants, kind of the dramas of daily life. In the beginning, we're seeing like 30 seconds of a family or a group of people. We don't have any kind of context for them, and it's just quick shots of, hey, this is my quick problem. Oh, this is happening here. We're moving this to this.
Because they're going to associate with the later on. They're gonna say, okay, in the first few minutes, here's everybody that's involved.
Yep.
And then we'll go back and single-handedly start to tell you the story. And
all
build.
these different storylines and how they intertwine, but in the beginning, it's so fast. And it is easy, I'm sure, to keep track of what happened.
Right.
I think I got a pretty good grasp on it by the end. But the woman, Maddie, which we find out is her name, she's late. And it's her first day of being a nanny for this house. It's a guy named Jack. And I don't think I got the girl's name, but it was Mrs. Phillips, I believe.
Diane.
Oh, Diane, okay.
No, you know Jack and Diane?
Yeah, little ditty.
2 American Kids done.
The best they can. Jack is like an architect or an illustrator. He works out of the house. They get a new baby.
And this lady, this lady who's the mother, has like no parental skills whatsoever.
She's like a robot.
No mother's intuition or nothing.
She's like the Rico machine robot.
She's like, I plopped it out.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm responsible
I
for.
birthed this from my canal. Someone else is going to have to do the rest. That's why we got this nanny. And she's kind of a bitch, too. She's as cold as a Rico machine,
she's
too.
definitely arrogant.
Next scene, you've got a father.
I put bitch wife / mom. Good job.
No, that's exactly right. High five that shit. Next scene, you got a father and daughter, business folk. I think they're in the back of a limo, and there's something about paparazzi. They see them waiting for them. They pull up to 111 Gramercy, which I mean, if we haven't said already, is a beautiful, high end, expensive apartment building.
Condos, yeah.
So this is some high end shit for sure. And this is where I really noticed, like, we're really seeing just quick shots of everybody, introducing a lot of characters.
You're
very
right.
Fast.
There's a lot of fast moving stuff, and there's a lot of times where we watch pilots and we're like, I wish it would move faster, and there's a lot of we just say, I wish it would slow down a little bit. And for me, I had difficulty keeping up.
That's all right.
Sorry.
What's that?
I'm sorry.
You're forgiven. The rich father that was in the limo with his daughter, he gets to his place. His wife's in there, and his son is in there, who's kind of a messy, bum-looking kind of dude.
Yeah, but he looks like he's like 25, 30 years old.
Yeah.
And he's like, and there's this baby, and he's like, yeah, that's my baby. And, here's the lady, you want to be a nanny? Like interview. Like he's like, and it's like the mom was taking care of everything or like ordering,
Yeah.
And this guy, he's just like, I'm 30 years old. I live with my parents and I have this kid.
I think he was gone for a while or something, and he came back with his baby, but he looks like a bum, and he's almost
right.
The dad presents it almost like he's just
suit.
been. And,
his dad's in a suit, very proper, very distinguished.
He's like, I've built this world for you. I've done all this, and you've done nothing but crap on it. And so there's obviously immediate animosity between those two. Then a lady arrives. Her name is Bryn, and she arrives to interview for a nanny job. It's Brittany Daniels. I don't know if you know her or recognize her. She's like, you might know her best from Joe Dirt as the love interest.
Okay.
She is.
I never saw that movie.
She might be getting a Brittany Bryn bump in my book. I love Brittany Daniels. She is smoking hot.
There's a lot of babies and a lot of nannies in this.
That's on purpose. Yeah.
I know, but it was just hard to keep track of.
Too many nannies?
Just a lot of nannies.
Nannies?
Two nannies and a baby. I don't know much about nannying.
What about being a manny? That's a male
mani-pedi?
Yeah.
I love mani-pedis.
New scene. You got ex-spouses. They're arguing. The guy is obviously some high-end bank guy or business guy, and he cheated on his wife, and he wants his apartment back. And the woman is Kat, I believe. And I don't know the guy's name. I didn't get his name.
No, but it seemed weird at first. I was like, oh, is this another fucking nanny who... At first, I thought the husband had an affair with his nanny. That's what I first thought, because I was like...
But that was his wife, because she looked like kind of downtrodden.
Right, because they were just throwing nannies all at me. Yeah. There's babies and nannies getting thrown all over the screen.
Don't be fooled. This is a nanny-heavy pilot.
Nanny-centric. Hashtag. Hey, if you think this is a nanny... never mind. Nanu.
The woman Kat is kind of distraught. She looks frizzled, frazzled.
Yeah, her hair's a mess.
Yeah.
She doesn't look like she belongs living there because they're all highfalutin people.
That's right. He wants her out of there. He loves the place very much, and he wants her gone after they're going through this divorce. Next scene, you got Jack, whose wife you said was Diane, or was that Did you get her name?
No, I did not. I didn't get anybody's name.
I'll call her Mrs. Phillips.
I was so drunk when I watched this.
Jack is the illustrator and architect, and him and his wife are arguing. And she is just, in every scene she is shitty. She's a bitch and terrible to everybody.
Yeah, she's like, he needs to get some work done.
Yeah.
With this baby around, he can't get any work done. I was like, well, that's what happens when you have a baby.
I don't know why he's with this woman. He seems like a nice guy.
Oh, yeah, he seems a real nice
He's
guy.
very nice to the new nanny, Maddie, which I believe Maddie to be the main character.
The blonde.
That nanny. No, not the blonde.
dark-haired one.
Yeah.
Okay. Who missed the bus? Okay, I'm with you.
New scene. Steve Urkel watches a bunch of yap yap pup pups. They go down the street, and
because he couldn't take the limo, couldn't pick them up, so he had to take them to their groomer's appointment.
I guess, yeah. And he's just like, oh, this is not the kind of job I thought it would be.
What do you think it's going to be?
I don't know. I don't know what he thought it was going to be.
Basically
You're
an
in
endangered servant to these rich people.
Yeah, he was an endangered servant. Bryn is that short-haired blonde girl. I bet you did like her because a lot of a neck exposed. You're a neck guy.
I'm definitely a neck guy, and her name was Bryn.
Bryn. This is very rare that I am giving.
Bryn.
This is very rare. I'm giving you the names of the characters.
And you need to watch Bryn in this episode. You need to.
For sure.
Definitely.
She has a pattern of manipulation.
Just like everyone.
Nice. High five that quietly. Bryn is interacting with her potential employers, and the young son, who's kind of the bum guy, I think his name is Will. He's kind of defensive of Bryn because the mother's kind of shooting kind of jabs or a lot of like inquisitive, like deep inquisitive questions about, hey, what's your history? What's this? And he's like, hey, just chill out, Mom. Hey, guess what, Bryn? You're hired. And
I think he hires her despite his mom. I think
for sure
he's got a boner for her and.
Make that two of us. I got a Meta World Milk Beignet for this lady.
Beignet, it's French.
It's French for the hard penis. Maddie delivers a note to a fellow. Mrs. Phillips says, "Hey, can you take this note upstairs? Is that something you think you can do?"
Right.
It's like, fuck you,
you rich bitch.
She goes upstairs and she delivers a note and she runs across a maintenance man, kind of a hot maintenance man. He's a very sexy guy. He's a bit of a chatty Cathy too. I noticed.
Right.
He asks her out. It's very quick. Like he meets her in like 30 seconds. Like that guy's got some balls.
And at some point when their conversation, one of them says it's been a while. I think that's said twice in this. Not like that. But
they didn't say it like that?
No,
that would be even better. They turn to the camera and say directly, breaking the fourth wall. It's been a while.
Man, how wow.
But yeah, it's a maintenance guy. He's hanging a Degas, which is a famous artist.
Okay.
And he's like, and he says, "Hey, you want to go meet me for coffee sometime?" And she's like, "No, I ain't do that."
No, you don't dip your pen in the ink of the company.
And she's like, I work here. You obviously work here. No, I'm not doing it. I'll see you later. Why? What makes you think after 30 seconds talk to me?
Right. You think I'm some kind of whore?
No way. On the way out, Maddie sees Bryn, and Bryn tells her, "Yeah, you know what? I said I was going to be hired. They totally hired me."
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
She's like, I knew it.
Yeah.
Bryn is cocky.
She knows what she's doing.
And she is a little bit on the shady side.
She's getting it done. She can shade me anytime she wants.
Shady.
Later, there's a bit of a swank party. And Will, that bum son.
Right, he's down there. No, he doesn't come down. He won't come down to the party.
Well, no, at this party he is at. There's a party later that they're not at. And the father from earlier, his dad, that he was in that car, the limo with the daughter. And so Will and this girl are siblings.
Right. And the dad is doting on the daughter and is trying to introduce her to all these people.
To me, this is a very Trump Ivanka situation.
Oh, very relevant to today.
Absolutely. The father's this big important businessman, very wealthy. He's got this young daughter who's kind of following in his footsteps. That's exactly what we're dealing with here.
And she says, "Don't call me daughter."
I must have missed that as well as it's been a while.
Sorry.
That's fine. I'm glad. That's why you're here. That woman, Kat, she's that kind of pitiful looking, downtrodden woman. She's outside with her children, and also she's got a black nanny. That nanny, all these nannies get a lot of screen time. This black nanny gets hardly nothing.
Right, and she was the one that was, got some spice to her, some funkiness.
She got
to
the
her.
sass.
She was the older one. Like she should have been the seasoned nanny vet.
Absolutely.
Hashtag
seasoned nanny vet. She runs into a family friend outside. It's nighttime, and then he kind of is like. He's nice to her, but then he starts to go, "Hey, you should. I found there's this place uptown. You should move." So he's trying to get her to move out. Same as her ex-husband. She knows what he's up to, and she's pissed. He's obviously working with her ex-husband.
They're working in cahoots with each other.
Next scene, they're at the gym, and that father, that wealthy father, and again, I don't have his name. He's pumping iron while him and his wife discuss their son's child situation.
Right.
The father, he doesn't want to budge on it. He's like, you know what? No, we'll take care of the kid. I don't want him to have anything to do with his wife.
Right.
The nannies in the next scene are out shopping, and they are discussing kind of their employers, right?
Right.
They're saying, hey, this is who I work for. This is kind of how they are, what they do. And come on in here.
Get in here.
Here Bryn kind of really shows, hey, she's an evil broad. Wouldn't you say?
Definitely. Every woman's evil.
One of many
I
scenes.
never met a woman that wasn't evil.
That's what a terrible thing to say.
Oh, it smells so good in here.
What's up, man? How you doing? Hello. I'm good. So they're in the shop, and Maddie is, you can tell that she's the one who's a little uptight and optimistic, but Bryn is shady. She's freewheeling Bob Dylan for sure, right?
I look at Bob Dylan and his career, and I think to myself, he's freewheeling him, right?
That's a great way to see it.
I'm sorry.
The
Sudafed is not good for my body.
They leave the shop and they're outside and they see that maintenance guy, and she's like, "Ooh, who's that guy? That guy's a hunk." And Maddie's like, "Oh, it's a maintenance guy." And then Bryn shuts down immediately.
Right.
She doesn't want anything to do with a maintenance guy.
She's
right?
too good for that, right?
So she ignores
she's a
him.
nanny.
That's exactly right. She's trying to move her way up the ladder here with these business folk, right? And then he kind of hits on Maddie again. He's got flowers for some reason, and I think he's actually a tenant disguised as a regular schmo, and we find out that is the case.
Right. He's like, he lives there.
Yeah.
He was just putting up fancy paintings.
And she assumed, and he didn't correct her. And
never assume. When you meet a foxy broad or a good-looking dude, whichever the case may be, that's not my business. Don't assume that they work in a foundry. Don't assume that they are a butcher. Assume they are a supermodel. That way you can get disappointed in the end. Your dreams will be crushed.
What the hell
You'll
are you
be
talking
heartbroken.
about?
And you'll probably just want to commit suicide.
Jesus.
Sorry. I got some issues I'm trying to resolve.
You definitely do. Kat in the next scene is kind of upset about her ex bringing the new girl to the building, the 111.
Right. Yeah. How does that work? You haven't even moved out from your ex-wife, and you're like bringing a girl to the party into the apartment. And also during this party, all the rich people want their babies brought to this party.
That is bizarre.
Like, hey,
it?
nannies, bring these babies down to this where we're drinking champagne and probably smoking reefer on the side. But we want to show off our kids that we never pay any attention to.
Then Kat is like pissed that the girl's there, and then this is where that black nanny really gets her due. She comes in with her sage-like advice and says, "You know what? You got to dress up. You got to go down there like nothing's wrong." And she does exactly that.
You got to man up.
Maddie is now taking instruction from that bitch of a wife. Was it? You did not get her name. Mrs. Phillips, right?
Dude, I was so drunk when I watched this. I'm sorry. This is almost my tribe.
How is this going to affect your rating? That's what I want to know.
Molly rated it. I don't really know
Molly
why.
rated? This is a Molly rating?
Yeah, Molly's got a rating on
this.
this.
This is an original. New scene. Will skips that party, and he comes across Bryn looking at like a framed photo of his ex-wife. This is Bryn, again, laying some manipulation groundwork, right?
Right. I've been married 3 times. I've never had a portrait of my wife painted.
But you've never lived in a fancy upscale apartment either.
Good call.
Nor
will I ever.
You make that vow?
I will stay with the common man.
You're going to make that vow? Good for you.
I will stay poor because that's what my father and forefather did.
You're comfortable there.
All 4 of my fathers.
Kat is looking hot, and she's by the elevator when it opens. Her ex is there with his new gal pal, and he is obviously milk boning out for his ex-wife.
Right,
He sees how hot she is and
Sure.
out, and the new girl is kind of jealous. You can tell she's like, "Why? Hey, stop looking at her."
Right. Stop looking at that girl you used to have sex with all the time.
It's like, I'm the real deal, Holyfield. Stop looking at her.
I'm the new meat in town.
Kat is chatting it up with the fellas at the party, really laying it in that like she's flaunting it right in front of him, making him see what's going on. And then,
do you ever do that with an ex-girlfriend? You come, you just start kind of like flaunting yourself, like trying to make yourself look cool in front of
no,
her.
I would never. I'd be terrified.
Okay, I won't tell you that story then.
You got a story?
No.
Absolutely you do. You got a story?
We'll save it for another time.
Oh, criminy. Maddie then arrives at the party with Constance, I guess is her name. That was the black maid. And they come down with the babies. This is when they bring the babies. Why are you bringing the babies to the party?
They parade the babies through the party.
Baby parade.
Hashtag Baby parade.
And again, I don't know this ex-husband's name. This really is your job.
I know.
You got to stop drinking during the pilot viewings because
I dropped the ball.
You do one thing, and that's get the names, and you couldn't even do that this time.
I got the let out.
The ex-husband approaches Kat and says, "You know what? Don't talk to me.
Right.
We're talking to my lawyer.
Yeah.
We're lawyering up."
He's like, let's talk this out. And she's like, you can talk to my lawyer. I just got done talking to him. I was like, well, you can afford your own lawyer. Last divorce I had to split the cost of the one lawyer, and he fucked me.
Will is chatting with Bryn. She's like caressing his knee and listening to a sob story so she can get into his cash-lined pants. Why would you keep so much cash in your pants, you think? You never know. When
I would not know anything about keeping a ton of cash in my pants.
But she's laying in, right?
Oh, yeah.
She's listening to a sob story.
Right.
And then his dad shows up, and he immediately sees what's going on.
Right. And then, okay, is this where he has the confrontation about, oh, you're just falling in love with another one? Remember the last one and then he ends up paying her the other other one off or something?
Yeah, he says, hey, first you have this shop girl in Athens, and you get her pregnant, and now you're fraternizing with the help.
Yeah.
And then he's like, how do you know that? And it opens up from there. But it goes back to the next scene where you got the maintenance man. He's at the party dressed up, and he sees Maddie, and she blows him off again. At this point, she knows that he is one of the wealthy tenants of the building.
Sure, and she blows. So you blow him off when he's a maintenance guy. You blow him off when you find out he's rich. When do you blow him?
Right.
And
right.
What was there like a sweet spot?
I was thinking almost exactly the same thing at that point. Jack and his wife, something happened in this. Did you catch this at all, or were you too drunk? I'll skip that. The father then informs his son that he bought off his son's ex-wife to leave him alone, and Will is devastated by this news.
Oh, yeah, he's heartbroken.
He tells his father he hates him, and he storms off.
Done that before.
Yeah, do you have a story about that?
No, there's like 7 of those, so I can't really.
That's its own show altogether. Kat's ex approaches her again. It's more mudslinging. I'm going to drag your name through the mud, get some lawyers. I don't know. It just kind of goes back and forth between these scenes over and over again. There's no real resolution. It goes on and on until let's skip to the end.
Okay.
Because there's just all we do is see these same people go round and around.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
There's not too much intertwining. At the end, Maddie meets up with the maintenance guy, and they're like, "Okay, let's go out for coffee."
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Why not? Because the bus drives by,
and you think, "Oh, she's going to get on the bus," but she doesn't.
But she never does, and then she's like, "Where do you want to go?"
At the very end, you see Bryn. Right. She's like, "Hey, I'm Maddie. I'm leaving. I got to meet up with an old friend. She's been going through some changes."
Right.
And she goes by herself to a club.
I'm going through changes. You know that is?
Is that the Beach Boys again?
No,
I feel like you're always singing the Beach Boys.
Beach Boys, Pet Sematary, best album ever. That was Black Sabbath.
She goes to the club. She gives the bartender a ID, and her name is Bryn, but the ID says Joan Wilson. So here it solidifies.
It's not even a real name.
That's not a real name.
She's shady. This last final scene shows that she's the villain in this show.
She's absolutely revealing her true colors. If you didn't get it this far into it,
now you seal the deal.
Now you know. Oh boy, meeting up with some friends, haven't been themselves lately. You know what? Turbulence.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
We know the show didn't work. They remade it a year later. Kind of like the what was that one? Super Clyde. Yeah, they made 2 of those, right?
Right.
They made 2 of Next. You remember that? Mm-hmm. They made 2 of Gramercy Park. This first one didn't work. The second one didn't work either.
No,
I can't speak to the second one.
Well, we haven't watched it.
That's why I can't speak to it.
Okay.
What about this one?
This one?
What happened? What was wrong with this show?
I couldn't relate to anything. I'm not a nanny. I'm not rich. I'm not a doorman. I'm not an indentured servant.
Out of all those things, I think you could be. You said endangered servant earlier.
Oh, did I? That's probably why you laughed.
It is.
Because I was supposed to say indentured.
It's too close to the.
They don't have I don't have all their teeth like this. See?
Yeah, and that's exactly.
So maybe I am an indentured servant because I don't have all my teeth.
You're a slave to the lack of teeth you have.
Oh yes, slave to the lack of teeth.
I could see you being
Said
a doorman.
No
though.
guy ever.
You would be a great doorman. I think though.
You think so? I think so. I have a problem. I have a problem remembering people's names.
You could do it something like you could have flashcards with people's names at the bottom.
But I think I could be like the shady under guy, like doorman. It's like, psst, psst, come here. Hey, I'm taking this girl to my apartment. If my wife comes, give me the waka waka. You know,
The waka waka?
Yeah.
Wait,
You
would
never
be the
given a guy a waka waka?
You'd be the doorman that keeps all the secrets?
Oh yeah, I can keep all the secrets. I have so many secrets right now. It's insane.
What would you do to improve this show?
I would just focus on. Don't flash to so many different things going all at once. Let's start. You know, you can introduce everybody, I guess, in a different way, maybe in a big like room or a party, and then kind of start going off into one or two. It just bounces back and forth.
I think the show was too heavy. There weren't any elements. There was no lightheartedness practically.
No.
It was all, oh, this woman's a horrible bitch, or these people are cheating on someone. There was it's just
Or
all
these rich people don't care about their babies.
It was just all negative and dramatic. It's like, let's have some lighter elements. Throw a few jokes in there.
Right.
I like to laugh.
Sure,
I'm only human, right?
I'm only human, born to
The show is built on the back of his songs. What's the biggest mistake you ever made,
Jason?
Where would you see?
We only have so much fuel for this plane.
I wish Steve Urkel was in this more. That's another thing I think is wrong with this. They said, hey, Frank Langella.
The 2 times he was in it, he was carrying dogs around.
Yeah, this is a dog heavy.
It's kind of
for Urkel.
racist.
I don't see the correlation there.
Oh,
but I wish Urkel had more of a role in this.
Yeah.
Right? It was only 2 scenes, and he was just it wasn't doing much.
liven it up a little bit.
And Frank Langella, legendary actor, he's only in it for the same 2 scenes.
Cut the tension with a knife.
Boy, let's begin our final descent.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
IMDb score. You got a guess?
6.5.
Is that really? You're just gonna do that
From now on? It's worked for me once out of 100 times.
But that's not fun anymore, though, right?
Okay, 4.8.
That's 7.7. You should have stuck with the first one, you dummy. I'm just kidding. No one's talking about this. No one's talking about 111 Gramercy Park. There are no reviews out there. There's no critic reviews. Why do you think that is?
Because this is awful. This really is awful. There is nothing about this that nobody watched it. No, they even made a second one. They was like, this is so bad that they didn't even make a second one.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. But surely someone had watched it. If idiots like us have access
The director even said to you, "You watched it?" Like in amazement. He knows that nobody watched
to it.
it.
I guess that is true. So maybe it isn't surprising that no one's watching it.
You got to stick with me. Sometimes you think I'm falling down, but I'm like London Bridge.
You said you're on Sudafed. I'm wearing Sudafed colored glasses right now, so I can only see you through that.
Sorry.
That's fine. You know what? No one else wanted to give this a rating. I think we should throw our hat into the ring.
Throw it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport. Local time is 11:11 and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelt sign.
Ratings.
Molly watched this with me. We're starting to try to bond more, so she's like doing a lot of the stuff that I like.
Okay.
Like watching Horrible Pilots. It's basically she just was sitting there and didn't want to get up because she was too tired, so she watched it.
Well, didn't you watch the Solar Knots with Garrett? Didn't you?
Garrett, oh yeah.
You're really making it a family affair.
I'm trying to intertwine my family into my ridiculous, non-profitable hobby.
Makes sense.
All right. So Molly says that she would watch it again.
Do you want to discuss the scale?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go for it.
The scale is 1 through 7, 1 being the lowest, 7 being the highest. And these numbers are taken off the characters of Wings. Roy Biggins being number 1, which he's a big dirtbag.
Yeah, he's
all
garbage.
the way up to your man, the one and only
Brian Hackett.
Brian Hackett.
Love Brian Hackett. It really centers around the bomber jacket.
Right. So that's how we rate it. That's how we pay homage to one of the best TV series ever made.
Right.
All right.
Some would say it's better than Golden Girls. I know I would. I would say that. And I think most people would agree with me.
I don't think most people would.
In the pantheon of sitcoms...
# Golden Girls or Wings.
No one's going to respond to that.
Nobody responds to anything.
What did Molly say about this godforsaken pilot?
She said that she would watch it again. It was intriguing. It reminded her of Melrose Place.
Yeah, well, it said in the like tradition of Dallas and Dynasty, but with a new millennium twist.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Which is called Melrose Place.
Yeah,
in a way.
yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Captain Philip, rest assured, I turn to you. How do you rate 111 Gramercy Park.
I'm going to give it a 3.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give it a baby bump and give it a 3.
Oh, a baby bump.
Yeah, there was so many cute babies. That was the only good part of the show. There was a bunch of cute babies. There's like there's like quick shots of these cute babies.
Yeah.
Imagine how hard it is to get them to look at the camera right.
I suppose that's correct.
Right? Have you ever met a baby that did what it was supposed to do when you asked it to?
I don't expect a lot. I don't expect too much from babies. So my baby expectations are very
My baby
low.
expectation. My baby expectation.
Don't force that. That was a mouthful.
Thanks.
You're like the Micro Machine Man. I would say that this is a solid 2, but I got to give it the Brittany Bryn bump. That girl is smoking hot. I don't like to give a lot of hot girl bumps, but I'm really into her. I'm giving it a 3, same as you, but not for a baby reason like you did.
Okay. All right.
And with that, we close the book. I really did not care for this pilot.
No, I didn't.
I don't like this.
I wouldn't watch. There's no need to watch it.
Oh, my God. Yeah, if you're at home, our ratings determine whether or not you watch it. Anyway, we close the book on 111 Gramercy Park, never to be mentioned again.
Ever.
But we're not done. So many pilots out there. People are bringing it to us all the time. I would say hand over fist.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just like a pile outside the hangar.
Yeah.
And it's just like we had to get a Morton Buildings and have it built to put all of them in there, all the lists of stuff that people given to us.
Join us next time, won't you, when we watch the pilot episode of The Ghostwriter. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. Block novelist Anthony Strack, is desperate enough to plot suicide. Before he completes the deed, he is visited by unearthly beings whose presence help him to write again. I don't know about that. That makes sense.
It's not a very good summary.
We'll discuss that more next time for sure. You can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then click on one of our classically blue links in the show notes, or go to YouTube.
And you know what to do, tube.
Damn right. Where else can they go?
For what?
To check us out.
Oh, COUCHPilotSPodcast.com.
Sure.
That's where you go. That's where you get everything. You can get to our Twitter. You can get to our Facebook. You can get to
Instagram.
Instagram.
And is there an email there too? Don't you click on it and it pops up?
Yeah, you can just type it up right there. You don't even have to go to an email server.
I wonder if that's how the Rico machine got a hold of us.
Could be.
I can't wait to dig in. I'm really curious about some of these emails we're getting lately.
Yeah, that was a good voicemail from Rico.
Call us, just like that robot did. 910-PILOTS-1. That's 910-745.
If a robot can call us, there's no reason why you can't call us.
People think, you know what? Robots are so smart. They're No, they're not. We're smart.
Right.
We're smart guys.
We made the robots.
Robots not smart. We're smart. Mm-hmm. Right? You can do it. 910-PILOTS-1, 910-745-6871. Call us right in the middle of the night. No one's sleeping. You're not going to bother anyone, especially Blake, but definitely call him in the middle of the night.
Yeah. By the way, thank you for that text message vomage you guys had the other night at like midnight. I was asleep.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Why do you leave? Just to turn the thing off, right?
It was on vibrate, but it was like brr, brr, brr. And finally I was like, oh my God, something's wrong with somebody in my family.
That was me. I started it.
I look at it and it's just memes of like, old wrestlers.
I saw a Reddit article about screws, and I sent it to Kevin and everyone else.
It was fine. I shouldn't have been in bed so early on a Friday night.
Was that Friday night? You're complaining? Good God, man.
I went to bed at 9:30.
You're the problem. All right.
You know what? I've had 3 wives tell me that.
Anything else you'd like to say, especially to your wives?
No, I don't really like to, keep people on the line, so to speak.
God.
But if I had to say something, if a gun to my head, I had to say something, I would say, first of all, pollen is bad. Stay away from pollen, okay? Second of all, celebrate Pilots Day with us next year. And
mark your calendar now.
Yeah, June 12th.
It's always the second Monday in June.
Second Monday in June is Pilots Day. We had a great time. Again, I just want to let everybody know that I stood next to a girl in a pool that was not my wife.
Mm-hmm. Big win for you.
Big win. And contact us. We would love to hear from you. And then if you have any... Some people say, hey, I've got a pilot. I want you guys to watch it. We're like, no. Watch it with us.
Come join us, won't you?
Right.
And with that, this pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.
This has been a Fakakta Comedy Funhouse production, produced by Jason Tosher, executive produced by Blake Clayton. For more information and content, go to fcfnetwork.com.